Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, when it comes to our meditation practice, mainly we try to develop our awareness, because when your awareness becomes sharper and clear, that what you experience, that you're going to see that your own experience, how it changed. It is not the change that we learning or we listening and understanding, because when it come to experience, it is different. It's like once you see the change, it is start to take you to different kind of mindset. Because in conventional life, we struggling to let go things, forget things, memorize things, and argue with things. So we kind of like have a mental struggle. But when you experience the change with that mind, that all the struggle go away. But getting to this experience, that it is very easy for us to observe this outside world and see how things change. Even within a day, to sunrise to sunset, it is very easy to understand it. But the recognizing it within ourselves, how the observer or the experiencer change, is totally different. That for that you have to slowly observe and recognize your inner behavior. So the meditation mainly for that. It is step by step we're trying to get into that level. So when it comes to truth, that recognizing and gaining and understanding that change is the truth. So when we look for the ultimate truth, the experiencing the change within ourselves and seeing how the experiencer change is the truth that you have to see. So when it comes to truth, there are two kinds of truth: conventional truth and eternal truth. So the conventional truth means that whatever related to name and form, whatever with this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, as perception that you gain, that whatever related to this four element, heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness, and whatever came out of that four elements, and whatever belong to nature or material world or this physical world. So whatever you see as world, this outside structure, surface level of the life, it's accepting it, recognizing it and accepting it. It's a way that you go with the conventional truth. And in conventional truth, there is another thing. It has patterns and methods and systems. Why? Because the conventional truth, that whatever the conventional, the behavior is interdepending. It has a dualistic mind. It has a name and form. So mostly when it comes to the before the Buddha, and the people used to struggle with that, and they used to transform that conventional truth again and again, again and again for different models. But still it is conventional. It is still name related to names and forms. Even you catch it as truth, it is still related to patterns, systems, methods. But what the Buddha mentioned as this eternal truth, and when you go beyond the name and forms, And when you start to see not the outside, how the experiencer, that you itself, how your mind change when things happening to you, when you see, hear, smell, taste, and associate people, or when you think, how the thinker change, that is totally different way. So to get into that, the very first thing, you cannot abuse the conventional truth. So it is kind of like something underneath the water. So the getting to that, you cannot disturb the surface level of water. So like that, you cannot disturb to this conventional truth, but you cannot take it as the truth. Why? Because then you're not going to look beyond it. So then you allow it to happen and you accept it, you allow it to happen, but at the same time, without taking it as something, or without settling down there, you still keep observing that the observer. Because if you settle down with the outside experience, you're not going to see the observer. So the nature of the vipassana, and with the knowledge that whatever the perception change, you mostly always try to see that how that you change. That you means that your consciousness, awareness change. Because we don't look into that mostly. We always look into outside. So in the vipassana, that's mainly completely try to take you to that level, to see how the experience change. So then always remember, in day-to-day life, when you experience something, rather than go into the outside, look what is the condition and how it change moment by moment. When you think something, how the thinker change according to the ideas come, and according to the perception, how the behavior change inside you. Try to get into that. And once you recognize it, it's kind of like the light arise. When you turn on the light, what happened to darkness? You no need to think about the darkness. You no need to struggle with it. You no need to try to push it away or let it go, or you no need to struggle that to do something and cover up and hold the light thinking the darkness will come. So like that, when you have that clear understanding how you change, when you experience it in that very moment, that whatever that you hold as this life, it's going to totally take you to different understanding. There's nothing wrong with this, but still remember that recognizing these things, we can observe and understand this entire universe change. But how the experiencer, the epicenter, the self-centered, the mind, and how it change, that is what you have to go. That is what you have to observe. That is what vipassana. And mostly what is happening in day-to-day life, that as a spiritual practice, we mostly go into outside and nourish this inside and make it permanent, make it kind of like a solid inside us, gathering more and practice, and we think we build up, we are. But when it comes to vipassana level of practice, always remember, you're not going to gather information and build up your awareness. Why? Because you know the awareness moment by moment change. So you more observe and you more tune to the change rather than gathering and collecting information. So the conventional level of truth is collecting the information. But when it go to the eternal truth, that you always get out of that collective nature. So when it come to this kind of thing, the reason, because from the ancient time, we caught up with different ideas, and Buddha is the one who came to world and show us this way, rather than going with the outside world, and how to clean up within yourself. So for that, it is very important the behavior of this conventional life. So don't neglect it. But the thing is, the beauty is when you start to see the change within yourself, you become more and more and more aware and clear, that flexible within yourself to bring the comfort to outside world. That is where your character also going to transform. So during Buddha's time, there was another teacher, spiritual teacher called Purna Kashyapa. And there was a village. This is how it start. His life is start. There was a village. It's a kind of like a small tribe and a little group of people. And they, the same family members used to be in that village. So then what happened? And there was a child born, and that child complete the 100 people in that village, and he's the 100th one. So in complete that 100, that is where he got the Purna. He fulfilled that, the 100, complete the 100, and his name was Kassapa. So then he became Purna Kashyapa, because he is the 100th and he is the one who filled that the gap to become 100, and then name got the Purna Kashyapa. So but he was a kind of like a very interesting character from the childhood. He always kind of like try to he didn't care anything. That is kind of like a careless, that he didn't afraid for anything. So then what happened? He thought he's the 100th one, and then he thought in his village he have no any kind of future. So he thought it is better to leave the tribe, leave the village, and escape from it. But at the same time, it is very dangerous, that because the tribe, that there is a leader, and it's the same family. It kind of like you cannot be independent. They have their own rules and regulations. You bound to that. It's a hierarchy, and you have to follow that. You cannot go beyond that. And there are some kind of group still like that way. Once you become a member, you cannot take any independent decisions. You have to surrender to the organization. So it's like that. And he knew this. And then what happened? He escaped at night. He escaped from the village, because he knew he has no future there. And he escaped from the village, and then he start to go place to place. While he's walking and going place to place, he became kind of like a homeless person. But during that time, it is very common. People always travel, walking, go here and there. People looking things, and people always searching things. That was very common. And what happened? He had only one cloth. He didn't have anything from the family, and even there is nothing to get from the house when he left it. So he had just the one piece of cloth. On the way, what happened? Day by day, it also became very dirty and unusable. And little by little, piece by piece, it went away. And he completely became naked because he has no choice. And he didn't have any kind of shame. And he just walked there. And then one day, he was walking place to place and he got tired and he had a nap under a tree. And at the same time, there were some village people walked through that area, and then they saw this naked, young, healthy person is sitting under the tree. It's kind of like, he had having a nap, just, getting help from the tree. And but that people thought he's practicing meditation. So like when you go to, few days of retreat, sometimes like that, or sometimes, when you become so tired like that way, you pretend like you practice meditation, but you sleep. So like that, somehow these people start to, you know, came closer, and they had some food and some items they offer and start to worship this person. And the Purna Kasapa on the way, somehow he wake up. When he wake up, he saw some group of people in front of him, and bowing and offering things. He just accepted. And then, so whatever come to his mind, he just say that was his religion. He didn't care. It's kind of like some psychic people, like especially nowadays, like uh, astrologers. In Sri Lanka, very common. So whatever come to them, they say, and the people believe it. Here, people believe it. Politicians, especially, oh, they worship them. They have their very favorite astrologers, and still, and nowadays, they whatever come to them, they say it. So it's kind of like that the Purna Kasapa also like that. Then the people thought, oh, maybe that also right. And because they didn't have any idea, now he giving an idea. That's it. So then he became a kind of like a very, famous, and people start to follow him. And then one day, Venerable Ananda came to Buddha and told, Venerable Sir, this Purna Kassapa explaining about 6 kind of people, the colors. It's like a basic color: red, yellow, white, blue. So there's kind of, green. So this kind of colors. And then he explained, according to these 6 kind of colors, 6 kind of people in the society. Is that right? So then the right away Buddha asked Ananda, do people believe that? So then the Venerable Ananda told, I don't know about it, but that is what he's teaching. So then Buddha told Venerable Ananda, there are 6 kind of people in the world related to that 6 kind of colors. What are those colors? That the 6 kind of people. One person is black person, and another person is white person. So this black person and the black birth and the white birth and have different kind of lifestyle, and then it become kind of like a 6. So what is the black life? What is the black kind of birth? So when you have a kind of very poor, hard time, in an unprofitable kind of lifestyle, and always very difficulties, and there is no help that you can gain from anybody, and it can mostly happen out of the your karma, and that is a kind of like a black life. So once, and the white life means, the white person mean the person who have all the merits and all the luck and all the good things happening around him, and he has good karma. So that is the white life. And then this black person has power to transform that black life to white, or he can become a more black person, or he can be neither black or the white. How it should, how it come? If the black person, then his life gain out of the demerits, the previous karma, and then if he start to have the jealousy, anger, hatred, so regarding the other people, and without helping to anybody, and always and doing the wrong things and doing the bad things, then he going to have a kind of like a, he developing the black life. And also if he understand, if he look at the world around him, and he became poor, he having hard time, he don't have any kind of facilities, but there are some people have it. And if he start to think about them and he start to appreciate it and respect it and start to behave good, what will happen? His black life start to transform to white. So he having a black life, and at the same time he has power to keep that black life keep happening to him, or he has power to transform it to white. So the black person has power, he's black, and he has power to transform it to white. Then he become a different person. Then the two colors, that way. And the white person, and he born with all the facilities, all the luck, and he having a very comfortable good environment. And at the same time, if he start to have the jealousy, anger, hatred regarding other people, then what will happen? He will transform his white life to black, because he born as a very healthy and lucky person, but with the jealousy, anger, hatred, what will happen? He will go back to the black life. And at the same time, if he start to act in a good way with the generosity, loving kindness, compassion, with the wisdom, then what will happen? He will develop his black life, the white life to white life. This both people, this is the important part. This black person has power to transform his life to another black life or another white life. And also, and he can have a life, that's mean he can transform his life to neither black or white, that's mean attaining to nibbana. And the white person, he has power to transform that his life to white life, another white life, or another black life. And at the same time, he has power to transform his life, neither black or white. That's mean he also has power to attain to Nibbana. So you have power to transform your life to another conventional life. Nothing wrong with it. It is your choice. So, but at the same time, You no need. This is the Buddha's teaching. This is very important. You no need any merits or any kind of like from previous birth. You no need any kind of gift to attain to Nibbana, to see the ultimate truth. So it doesn't matter the merits we need to have the samsaric journey. So don't accumulating merits, it's related to conventional truth. That is the point that you have to understand. Accumulating merits, it's not going to gain the Nibbana. Only thing is, when you have the comfortable life, when you have everything, it will help you to practice Dharma and practice meditation. So that kind of, then that way you will gain the Nibbana. So because you have all the facilities. But at the same time, that remember, the having a good life or the lucky birth or any kind of other facilities not going to work for Nibbana. So it doesn't matter whatever the place you born, whatever the lifestyle that you go through, and whatever the condition that you have in day-to-day life, attaining to Nibbana is something else. So that's why during Buddha's time, you may heard the stories, millionaires to beggars, even king to just an ordinary person. This all attain to enlightenment. It is not that it doesn't matter the physical condition. So when you go with the conventional truth, we always look for that outside labels. But when you look for the eternal truth, you don't look for that things. You look how faithful this person, how he have the desire to look for the truth. How confident that he look that having himself, and how he build up the confidence and the trust. How you build up the trust with the truth, because you see conventional truth and the eternal truth you cannot see, you don't see. So but still you have to let go this conventional experience thinking, or having a kind of like a desire to see the ultimate truth. Because having this and having the comfort with the conventional, you cannot get it. It seems like the holding something in your hand, you cannot get something else. Maybe this is very good, it brings me comfort, I am so happy with it, it's so good for me, but still, if you hold it to this, you cannot get something. So then what you have to do? You have to let go this. That letting go, that releasing from yourself is the greatest challenge. So to release that way, to transform this conventional truth to eternal truth, in between this, you have to build up the trust. So through the practice and having the listening to Dhamma or learning about it and knowing, and sometimes through your self experience, and you can build up that little by little, little by little. Trust is kind of like this. There were two students that having an argument regarding what is this faith, conviction, the trust that you can build up regarding the truth. So then the teacher one day told that because through this argument you cannot learn this, and I will teach you what is this. So what happened? There was in daytime, and the teacher took these two students to the backyard, and there was a kind of like a 8 feet 9 feet high wall. So then the teacher told to both of them to climb the wall, and he helped even. And then so they the teacher told, now you can see me, you can hear me. Mm. And if I tell you jump, are you going to jump? So then one student jump and the teacher hold him. Another student, so just put the name A and B. Listen this is what called the thrust. So it's just an example. This is a Zen story, but there is a deeper meaning. So the student A, it's daytime, he jumped. And a student B, he didn't jump. He told, I can see and I can hear you, but I just, I can come down myself. And then the student A who jumped, trusting the teacher, and he was so happy. And teacher didn't tell anything. And he was so happy. Oh, I trust the teacher, and teacher now happy about me. So like that. And then there was a very dark night. After, few weeks, then the teacher told these two students, come, let's go outside. And they didn't know why this, and then the same like that day, and he put the both of them to the top of the wall. And the teacher told, so you can hear me. And you have past experience also. Even though you cannot see me, I can see you. And you have the past experience that what I have done even. So jump. And he told to jump to these two students. The student A, the first time in the daytime he jumped, he start to complain. How I can jump? Because I cannot see you. I don't know if, you can hold me or not, or what will happen. He got paralyzed. He didn't jump. But the student B, he jumped. That is what called thrust. When there are possibilities, you no need that, because you see it. But in life, there are things come. It's kind of like a blind spot. You know it is there, but you cannot see it. That is where you need the trust. But mostly in daytime, daylight, we build up the trust, believing it going to take us to the truth. When the blind spot arises, we paralyze. But the real, the Dharma, when you get into the Dharma through self, practice and deeply observing and seeing yourself, when the blind spot comes, that is where you activate your trust. Not the daytime, daylight. When the blind spot comes at dark night, that is where you activate your trust. So then remember yourself, when we struggling with this conventional truth and to transform our life to eternal truth, the very first thing, remember, don't count on the outside or the position or the material or the other reasons. Don't depend on that. The very first important thing that you have to remember, the quality that you have to have, the awareness, the clarity. And the clarity, and you have to have a strong trust with the the truth that you experience. Through the observation, you gain that. And that is where, when you sit, you close your eyes, you become no one, when nobody. When you sit, you forget all your past experience and your name and your identity, everything, and you sit with the clear, empty mind. And then observe. And that is where you start to experience something beyond this conventional tangle. So otherwise, we always hold it to that, hold it to that, hold it to that. So then be a character. It doesn't matter. You born with the luck or you came with the luck. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are, whatever the struggle that you go through. It doesn't matter things happen the way you wish or things didn't happen the way you wish. Don't count on that. Count on the trust that you have within your own inner experience, how truthful it is. That is matter. That is what going to build up the trust from this conventional to your eternal transformation. So it is your own practice. So in day-to-day life, that's why when you observe deeply, thoroughly, be very clear with that observation. And that is what you need. When you complete that, when you master that, and day by day, little by little, and there is a time come for you. There is no backward. You just go forward. So it is in front of you, activating it, nourishing it, it is your responsibility. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi diga yuko bhava. Ittavata me sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammam asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.